Morning, welcome to Buck Don't Know Shit. It is another beautiful day in Texas. And let's talk about this old girl. Still have not figured out exactly how or when I did it. It had something to do when I was trying to get the timing chain set to exhaust stroke, where the exhaust was open, I believe is what I was trying to do. And then I set my distributor in, and basically I set my distributor 180 out. So I have some options, 3 options. One, I could just change my wires. That's easy enough. Option 2 is pull the distributor out and turn it 180 degrees. What I don't like about that option, we had talked about before, is my oil pump drive shaft. I don't trust it because I have seen it not fall back into the oil pump when I had like the timing chain cover off. Kind of drop it in there and it kind of whoop down the side of it. So I know that that can happen, and that will be hard to verify in the engine. Now, it may come out, drive shaft stay in place, everything's fine, and I know I can like go down there and turn it with a drill or something, and I may do that. Third option is take all this off again, which I have gone ahead and ordered a gasket kit because I'm kind of leaning towards this. But that is the third option. Take it all off, check my timing again, timing chain again, which I know I had it dot to dot, but it was when I turned it to where my cam gear dot was at 12. I had them both at 12, and that's when I set my distributor. I went back and looked at the video, and it was pointing at that point to the number 1 plug on the distributor cap. Now, whenever I put my finger on the cylinder, pops it off, my rotor is pointing 180 away from it. So the timing is off. I kind of want to get it off so I can play with it again and understand what is, because you turn the crank 1 turn, the cam turns a half a turn, but the piston is back up at top dead center. And I guess it has to do with the difference in if the intake or the exhaust is open. And I'm assuming that's why you don't feel it. Anyway, people are probably like, you're retarded, why don't you know this? And my third option of taking this apart, I kind of want to. I kind of feel like it's a couple of reasons. One, I want to get better timing marks on my pulley, which is very hard to do with belts on and in the car. And now that I'm 180 out, I kind of want to just double check that everything is set correctly. I could just change the wires real quick, fire it up, see what happens. I mean, that is an option. And if it runs, you know. But I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. And all I've got is water in the radiator. That's the only thing I would have to drain, because I would want to pull the radiator and condenser back out. Just, yeah, makes life a lot easier working on the timing chain. We've discussed this. Got 2 of the belts off. Y'all see where I'm going with this. I think I'm about to tear this engine apart one more time, and I'm not gonna add this to the video. Just know that that's what I'm doing. Jeez, I don't know. Off. I had the valve cover off because I want to see if this thing is oiling, because I don't trust that little oil pump drive shaft. I don't like it. But
will it still turn on with valve cover?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Should.
Okay.
Keys in the on position.
Yeah.
Scared?
Are you?
A little bit.
You're the one sitting next to the engine, not me.
A little bit. So I only have, don't have the radiator in, so we can't let it run long. I mean, it'll be fine, just doesn't have any water cooling it. But I'm not gonna let it run long anyway, because I don't have the engine valve cover on. But also the distributor's not tight right now. It's
What's the distributor?
huh? This guy,
What does it distribute?
electricity. There's it. Here goes nothing. Go put your foot on the gas.
Just put my foot on the gas?
Hmm?
Just put my foot on the gas?
Yeah. Timing's still off.
What was that?
It was a backfire. That is top dead center right there. Number one's right there. So you're pointing. Could maybe be a little bit closer to it.
So what's the problem with it now?
I don't know. Probably a timing issue.
Shit. What was that?
Timing.
What does that mean, timing?
It means it's firing a cylinder out of order, basically. That makes sense.
I guess.
It's-
What's the cylinder?
The things that go up and down in
Are
the
those?
engine.
I don't.
So it's firing whenever the cylinder's like in the down position and it's got gas in it, and the spark's going off, so it just shoots out the exhaust instead of
So it's supposed to fire whenever the things are in the up
Pistons.
position?
yeah, like maybe not all the way up, but real close to up. So the explosion pushes the piston down, right?
Is this how all engines work?
Huh?
Is this how all engines work?
Yeah. Timing's still off. Try that. All right, I went ahead and put the radiator back in. I was squirting transmission fluid all over the place. I added a little bit of transmission fluid back in. Went ahead and put some water in here, so I'm good with that. But yeah, it was mainly so I could get my transmission lines hooked back up, because I really didn't have anywhere for that to go other than on the floor. My battery's getting weak. I'm thinking maybe it's more of a fuel, like just not quite getting enough fuel to it right now. It's kind of what it seems like, but I'm no expert on this for sure. There we go. That's on there. Now let's see what happens. Always something, these old cars. So I was watching videos, I could tell my gas pedal, which Carly was actually using the brake pedal when she was in the car, apparently. But regardless, the gas pedal does not work quite right. And and I set this up pretty much the way I took it out. I'd taken it out and cleaned it up, but see that rubber stop right there? Well, it is a rubber stop that is supposed to stop against something. That something is not in the car, and it is a backing plate that mounts to the transmission. It goes from like that bolt to that bolt, and yeah, keeps that basically pushed back, and the pedal inside I believe would stick out a little further. That's what the problem is. It's almost all the way to the floor. Yeah, so basically all of this is needs to come off. Yeah, so what we're gonna work on today, we're gonna get this engine running. It's firing, it's barking a little bit. I was looking, this choke is stuck. I know there's like a cam over here that locks it, but and I look back at other videos and it has pretty much always been in this position. You see I can't, and it maybe anyway, I'll mess with it later, but I think there's something that, there it goes. So got it. But I got to get it to where it'll actually choke. Yeah, that's better already. Okay, so fix that. All right, good job, Bucky. But I don't know that my electric choke is working. I was gonna mess with that some this morning. It was originally wired to the coil, which I believe these are supposed to have a full 12 volt. The old coil, the way it was wired with the resistance wire, only had 6-ish volts going to it. So it may be fried for all I know. It's very likely. But I do have 12 volts going to the coil now, so I think I can wire it to the coil, but it may no worky no more. So gotta check that. I don't know. That's little things though. Okay, I adjusted my electric choke. 3 screws, undid them, and then you kind of turn this, and it basically pulls it to where this is kind of in the, I guess, start cold position, I guess they call it. So, and it's got like a heating element in there that tightens up and opens it up as the car heats up. I think that might help us some. There is a reason for a choke. I did check, I do have full 12 volts when the key is on. When it's off, there's no power there. So I think it is fine in this case to plug this up here. But do remember, if you have an electric choke, especially in a Ford with a resistance wire, this may not be the ideal place to plug it up. You might want to do an ignition source that's full 12 volts from inside the car and run a separate wire. Word of advice, make sure you got 12 volts and make sure it's only when the key is on. Give the old girl a healthy drink and see what happens. All right, so I did turn that distributor yesterday and locked it down. Probably need to turn it back this way a little bit. So let me do that. All right, we're gonna try it again. But I have this distributor. I see it's moving on me. Well, let me just try to hold it in place. it's not keeping the fuel going to it. That could be a problem too. That's the longest it's run so far. That's good. But I'm out of adjustment on my timing basically. So, which is weird. Let me try it one more time. I like that sound. Okay, I'm gonna do one check real quick. I'm gonna undo this fuel hose, crank the engine a little bit, and see if I'm getting fuel from my fuel pump. Yeah, I think I will, I'll probably pull the coil, not pull the coil, but pull the ignition wire off of the coil so that there is no spark while I'm messing with this fuel. I think that would probably be smart. All right, let's see. We got some fuel coming out of this thing. We do not. That could keep the car from running. Maybe I can crack this line right here, kind of get it some gravity bleeding going on, or just see that I do have fuel to here. And because I mean, I've got fuel in the tank, it should drain to here. And it's not gravity feeding for some reason, which is odd. Let me try to figure this out. Okay. I know whenever I pull this back line on this tank, when I drain the original tank, wait. Mother God. Freaking idiot! Oh shit. Helps if you connect your fuel line to your gas tank. That's probably first thing you should do. Okay, just a little bit of suction and that got me flowing. So let me figure out how I'm gonna do this without making a huge mess. Okay, let's see. We know we got gas pretty close now. See if we can get it to come the rest of the way. Doesn't seem to want to come the rest of the way. Okay. Let me think. Figured this would be like really easy. All right, let's try it again. And I just went ahead and hooked the fuel pump back up. Kind of told it's gonna prime itself easier from the engine running than, you know, sitting there trying to do it with the starter. So we will see. It's run, so I think it is a fuel issue, if anything, right now. Did you hear that, Carly?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh, stinks.
Hey.
It's burning my nostrils. What'd you do?
Huh? Well, I hooked the gas tank up. That was one thing.
What do you mean? You didn't hook it up before?
Yeah, the fuel line wasn't hooked up at the gas tank back there. So, I mean, that wasn't the only reason. So, you know, like I'm working through this process.
Yeah. So it just wasn't getting any gas?
I mean, yeah, it was getting no gas. That was, yeah, because, yeah, was not hooked up. But now I gotta figure out if the pump is bad or if something else is going on. Where are you going?
It's loud, and I need to put my laundry up in the shower. I have a party today.
Okay, well, go do that. That's the longest it has run so far. So it does do that. I don't know. Well, so it looks like I need a new fuel pump. Kind of it sat up for a year, dry, was working when we took it off the car. But I guess when things sit up and used to having fluid in them, I could see the diaphragm drying out, yada yada, whatever, and not working properly. Cannot get fuel come to the carburetor here. Now I got fuel. Well, I've used my mighty vac actually suck it up to here, but it will not continue pumping it up. So probably going to try to move that distributor, try to get it to jump over another two. It's too far this way, basically. Should be over 20-30 degrees the other way, according to how it was, and just I'm out of adjustment. I can't set the timing anymore. The timing is close. I think it'll run where it's at, but I don't have any room to maneuver with it. So probably all the running we're going to try to do until we get the new fuel pump, which will be 2 days. Basically, tomorrow's New Year's, so I'm not getting anything tomorrow, and there is nothing local, so it'll have to be delivered to O'Reilly or Napa, both of them the same. Pretty sure it's the same part, actually. So I already have a part down at Napa, so that's probably where I will order it from. I need to go do that, make sure it gets delivered Friday or Thursday. That's Thursday, I think. The good news is that it runs. The bad news is we still got a little work to do before it is ready to put on the ground and attempt to drive.